Hi there. A lot is going on in our business world today. That's why I'm here sharing with you the business news of the day because we have a lot of things going on and happening in the business front and also in the stock market. That's why I'm here sharing with you this because, guys, it is extremely exciting, right? It is extremely exciting. And just to show you some of the happenings in this front is that, look here, guys, very fascinating. I'm going to be discussing with you the five biggest pieces of news out today with regards to what is happening, right? I hope you've joined this live stream. I'm going to discuss biggest pieces of business news with regards to what is happening. So because we really have a lot going on. We really have a lot going on. If you there, kindly join the live because we have a lot of exciting things going on, right? We're going to discuss what is going on. And we really have a lot on our table. That's why in today's live session, I'm going to talk about the business front and also talk about other matters affecting the country, right? And on the business front, we have very fascinating occurrences. The first one being that today, guy, we're talking about Uber rolling out flight bookings travel super app plan. What do I mean? In the next few months, regardless where you are in the world, it's gonna be possible to book Uber to book your flight using Uber. This so because Uber has rolled out the flight booking option. And of course, it had a plan to do this even way before COVID. But the COVID happening actually slowed it down. But right now, we're talking about Uber actually being ready to roll this out. And this is very fascinating. So because it began the piloting in the UK, and this is going to translate to other countries in the next couple of months, which is very exciting and awesome piece of news worth giving an ear. Other piece of news is that we're talking about in Kenya, a given airline cancelling travels to one of the key routes. Safarilink cancels its Kitale route citing bad business. We all seen right from the onset of COVID, even up to now, the airlines industry out there are still shaking the aftermath of what happened. And that's why at the moment we're talking about actually Safarilink cancelling the route of Kitale, citing bad business. Biashara ni mbaya. So this emphasizes the cancelling of that route because they couldn't sustain the business on that route. Very fair. And if you read a bit more in details, what exactly is happening here is that, guys, the airline's chief executive, Alex Avedi, said the route has been hampered by high fuel costs and also inadequate airport facilities, forcing it to cancel its flights. Of course, this has an impact in customers out there. Customers who maybe were relying on this airline have now looked at alternatives because business on that front has actually gone down. Okay? And then the other piece of news in regards to farmers in the country actually taking a hit. We also, the Treasury, there was conversation around the Finance Bill 2023, and there are projections about other areas out there being hit, like, for example, alcohol, cigarettes, you name it. But coincidentally, these other areas weren't hit hard. But what came as a shocker is that farmers are actually going to pay dearly if this finance bill is passed in the country as is. This so because the National Treasury has actually handed farmer a new price increase structure in this bill. We also, when the new government came into force, it was pro boosting the production at the bottom level. But now with this, it came as a shocker Because it means is that actually farmers out there are going to really incur crazy costs with regards to them not being able to offset any of the costs when it comes to the inputs they have incurred in this farming front. And specifically, it's because of the recategorization of the chapter 31, whereby fertilizers are contained in there, and this is going to cause or lift the zero exempt on the VAT with regards to this. This is going to really impact the farmers greatly. And the other piece of news which I've also talked about is with regards to the alcohol, cigarettes, hinted spike. Coincidentally, this has actually been saved this year. For the first time in 5 years, the government hasn't really taxed cigarettes, hasn't really increased the tax on alcohol, which is quite fascinating because the previous regime they had to go to increase in tax was actually quote unquote called a sin tax. In essence, cigarettes, talking about alcohol and so forth. But now with this is very fascinating because the current regime has actually exempted taxation on cigarettes, taxation on alcohol, which is very fascinating. And we're going to wait to see how this goes, right? And then the last piece of business news I want to share with you before I talk about the stock market is that there is new hope for Kenya and actualizing its potential of the SGR. Reason being, Uganda renews hope by actually being very firm with regards to its extending the SGR, which Kenya actually constructed to the endpoint. Okay, this was a regional kind of plan, and initially there was fear that Uganda couldn't come through, but now Uganda has committed to begin its construction from August of this year. This is actually gonna mean that we're gonna see SGR go beyond Kenya and actually also get into Uganda, and we're gonna have a regional kind of joining together, regional kind of coordination, which by the way is very, very fascinating. And now, talking about the stock markets, how has the Nairobi Securities Exchange been today? Guys, we really have a lot going on in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And I'm saying so because in aggregate, the Nairobi Securities Exchange All Share Index has dipped by 1.58 points today, which is kind of bizarre. And also, the NSE 20 share index, in essence, the share index of the top 20 stocks in the market has also dipped by 16.88 basis points, and the 25 index by 47.22 basis points. And this actually has actually also dipped the market capitalization further, because at the moment talking about the market capitalization at the NSE being at 1,564 billion shillings, which by the way is kind of fascinating because just the other day I was talking about how the NSE at the moment is at its all-time low over a duration of 10 years. Now with this, it's actually even taking it low and low. Quite fascinating, but coincidentally, some of the sectors in NSE have performed pretty well. Like for example, agriculture front will see stagnation or just an increase, right? Even so, other sectors, for example, talking about commercial and services, we see kind of a mix, more stagnating, a few increasing, a few dipping. But those which have been hit real hard, we're talking about sectors like banking. Guys, in the banking front, almost everything in the NSE is on the red. This tells you things are not quite okay in this sector because almost everything is on the red, and this tells you this sector is taking a hit, which is kind of fascinating if you think about it. Why is that so? It's essentially because these sectors have seen actually a huge pull out of investors, which is causing this big dip. Of course, we saw some few months ago foreign investors pulling out, even with the positive dividends announced by different banks out there. This hasn't been able to really salvage this situation because it's still taking a hit. I hope tomorrow is going to be a better day in the market. What do you all think? Thanks a lot for watching this live. I look forward to again coming tomorrow to you with another live with regards to business in the country and the stock markets. Cheers, and you all take care.